You may have seen more moving trucks or neighbors packing up during the pandemic. Well, that's because millions of Americans are relocating as campuses shut down, homes are lost, and some seek more space to roam. And in destinations like Vermont, locals are seeing a boom. Here's ABC's Erielle Reshef.
This time last year, Megan Carmichael and her young Californian family had no idea they would end up living in the woods of Vermont.
COVID was absolutely the hugest reason why we chose to leave Southern California. There was rising numbers and not a lot of precautions being taken by our neighbors and our communities, so we knew we needed to go somewhere safer. We had some available funds and decided to break our lease and buy an RV so that we could travel safely across the country during COVID as a self-contained unit with our own bathroom and beds.
After 8 days and more than 3,000 miles on the road, they arrived in Western New York, staying with family.
We drove through. We started over here, and then we traveled over here, and then we got all the way over here.
But after a socially distant visit with old friends in Vermont, the young family decided to move into a rental outside Burlington.
We love it. I could not have expected to feel so at home in a place that I had never been before. My kids are over the moon at the amount of space that we have.
The Carmichaels are one of the many families who are now calling the Green Mountain State home because of COVID.
Working from home has really influenced a lot of smaller towns and a lot of smaller cities. These were places that, let's say, in the past 2 decades really saw an exodus. And now there's actually a reverse migration back.
According to a study by Pew Research, young adults ages 18 to 29 have been the most mobile during the pandemic, especially with colleges going online and record job losses. But the next largest group were older millennials.
There were a lot of people with young children who just said, if I can work from home and I have private outdoor space where I feel safe, it became a no-brainer.
This trend comes as welcome news to Vermont state officials.
We have been working for a couple of years now to try to address a demographic challenge that we have identified. Our state is the second oldest in the nation, and there's a workforce shortage.
State officials hope the pandemic may shift the state's demographics by attracting younger residents.
Bringing young families into our state is so great in terms of our education system. We need more students in our school systems.
Vermont schools are funded based on enrollment numbers, so administrators say the spike in new students is beneficial.
Vermont has experienced a 20% decline over the last 10 years in our student population. So we really did have room in our buildings and encourage students to move here.
Windsor Central Supervisory Union is a small 1,000 student district and usually enrolls 30 to 50 new students a year. This year, it enrolled more than 200, with nearly half of them coming from out of state.
They moved here because it's a healthier environment. You're able to walk outside, you're able to, walk through the woods.
Access to the outdoors was a big draw for Alexis Hildebrand and Alan Richard.
As far as like a state that fully values the outdoors, I mean, Vermont can't be beat.
The Missouri natives say they had planned to move abroad, but then COVID hit, and with borders shut and infection rates climbing in their state, they started to look elsewhere.
My wife has an autoimmune disorder. We felt like our governor back in Missouri was not taking things very serious with regard to the virus, and so that coupled with people that just refused to wear masks and everything else in Missouri made it a pretty simple decision to head to a place where the correct protocols were in place. We rented a U-Haul and sold a bunch of our stuff and loaded the rest into the back of it, and we took about 3 days to get here.
Now Hildebrand continues to work remotely and Richard teaches. 12-year-old Lydia is in school.
We love it.
We love it.
There were some doubts because of our young one here. She's in middle school, but she's thriving.
With so many newcomers like Hildebrand and Richard moving to the region, local realtors say the housing market is unlike anything they've seen before.
We had calls from so many people from out of state. They wanted to see things, even if they couldn't get here. They wanted us to go take videos. Sometimes they bought sight unseen.
Realtors say inventory was already low before the pandemic, and now the competition to buy a home is fierce.
And there'll be multiple offers on any one house. I mean, when I say multiple, like 5 to 10 to 12 within hours of the listing. So it's been pretty pretty nuts.
It's impossible to say if most newcomers will stay for years to come, and it may not be known until a post-COVID era. Erielle Reshef, ABC News, New York.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.